Space, the final frontier. My name is Captain Foley, and these are my adventures. Captain's Log, Stardate 201510.09. Hey everybody, Captain Foley with you again today. And I'm going to start this Captain's Log a little bit differently. I'm going to kind of get to the points that I want to talk about first, and then I'm going to get into all your questions. So if you want to hear all the questions, you can do that, or you can play it till you hear your particular question, and then stop. So it's up to you guys how you want to watch this one. I don't know if I'm going to do this from now on. I'd kind of like your input as far as that goes, so let me know. One of the first things I want to point out is I'm wearing my Sonic screwdriver shirt. Doctor recommended countless uses in time and space shirt from I believe it was Nerd Block, this one actually. And I just wanted to ask you guys a question. What do you guys think of the Doctor's new Sonic? Not this one, and not 8-bit versions, but his shades, his Ray-Bans. There's been a lot of controversy about this. People don't like it. They need the Sonic back. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I am a Doctor Who fan, so I would love to hear your thoughts. I know that Stephen Moffat has kind of justified them, saying that the screwdriver will eventually very likely come back. But what do you guys think? I think it's a great idea for seeing power signatures and things like that. I think it's interesting. Capaldi likes it, but I've just heard a lot of controversy and whatnot on it, and I think it's got a lot of potential, but I think it's a bad marketing move, personally. Where can you buy something like this? You can't. You got to buy the merchandise. Where can you buy a pair of black Ray-Bans? Absolutely everywhere. Most of the people already have a pair. So, I mean, they're losing out on merchandising revenue right there. I don't know. That's my thought on it. Anyway, taking those off. So, that's the first thing I want to talk about, or ask your opinion on anyway. Second thing, I just did a Captain's Log supplemental where I showed off my new Megatron Hallmark ornament, things like that. And this was in it, my lovely Bandai Refit Enterprise. And people were complaining that the engines were droopy. Well, they were, but there was a reason. It's because right up here, it's just a snap-together model, and it had fallen off, and I didn't realize it before I filmed the video. So I just want you to point out that the engine sag on my refit Bandai is basically non-existent. There is no sag. See? So don't worry about the Enterprise, guys. It is good to go. I just thought I would share that with you guys, because I had a lot of concerns about that, and I don't want people thinking that I have droopy nacelles, because I don't have droopy nacelles. I'm Captain Foley. I run a tight ship. I like things to be on the straight and narrow, especially my nacelles. It's one of my biggest pet peeves with models and Enterprises that I've had over the years is keeping the nacelles straight. If they're not straight, if they're slightly, it drives me nuts. Same with cars, like muscle cars, like Camaros and Mustangs. If they're an ass dragger, if they got the lower back end, I don't even know. It's freaking hideous. Like, people, smarten up, get things fixed. I have raised back on them and on my Camaro. Added a few extra leaf springs, so it looks aggressive. It's got the aggressive angled profile forward. So don't mess with my nacelles, guys. They're all fine, as you can see. Although I think the batteries are dying, so I'm just going to turn it off for now. All right. So, a few things to talk about today. First of all, yesterday Samuel and I did a Trekyards anniversary special recording where we basically talked about the last year of Trekyards, or the first 3 months specifically, how it got started, things like that. And it turned into what we're considering a pilot, actually, because it's going to be, it was totally unscripted, the whole thing. We were just talking back and forth, and it had a very podcast feel. Now, we would love to do a Trekyards podcast, and we want to get your guys' opinion on that. Would that be something that you guys would listen to? Just an hour of us just talking about a specific topic. It doesn't even have to be Star Trek related. It can be Doctor Who. It can be Star Wars. It can be absolutely anything. And we would love to get your input on that, because when you see it on, I don't know when we're releasing it tomorrow, which is our anniversary. Tomorrow's Saturday anniversary. But tomorrow's the anniversary episode, which you guys are going to freaking love. We've got a special guest star, and it's got a great topic and a lot of information jam-packed into it. But when we release this podcast style, it's going to consider it a pilot, guys. Or maybe do it on Sunday. I don't know. We'll see. We got like three anniversary videos for you guys to kind of enjoy. So we want to get your feedback on that. We want to hear what you guys think. If you want us to do a podcast, because when we just talk back and forth about a topic, it's amazing. It's scripted is better, more concise, and a lot more information packed into it. But when it's just us chatting, I mean, a lot of people love podcasts just for that particular reason. So I want to get your guys' thoughts on that. That's one of the first things. Second thing, we tried filming Trekyards episode 1 on Wednesday, but we got halfway through the script, and we had a Skype issue. Skype quit working. So we gave up on that, and we did it. And then yesterday we went back, tried it again. Skype was working just fine for us. Got the Trekyards episode filmed. So that's that. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is. A few of you might know because I posted some hints on the Trekyards Declassified site, which if you want to be a member of, you need to donate to the Patreon. There's a specific level. I can't remember which level it is, but you get access to the site. And you get kind of insider information on what we do behind the scenes. You can find out who we're recording with, when we're recording with them. We post pictures of the recording session, things like that. We also ask you guys if you want to ask the designers any questions yourselves. You can do that. So that's worth the what I think it's $5 a month, $10 a month on the Patreon just for that. So that's something you should at least consider. We're already up to $300 on the Patreon a month. Well, $299.01, I think. And so if we can double that, get to 600, well, 500 is our main goal for this initial step. If we can get to 600, though, let's just double it. We can keep bringing you these shows like Top 10, Fact Files, the animations, and develop the podcast probably a lot better, a lot faster as well. But I mean, that's something that we need your help for, guys. So please check out the Patreon. There'll be a link, of course, in the description below. And we would really appreciate any help you could give, even if it's $5 a month. I mean, that's not a lot of money in the long term when you think about it. So please consider it at least. I mean, check out the Patreon's page. Check out the video we did for the Patreon page. When you go to the page, there's a video you can click and watch. Watch that at least. And if you're interested, please help us out. All right. Also, if you can't subscribe financially, as I keep saying, please just share the link, share the Patreon. Now, another thing, this is a different view. This is my workbench. Here's the Enterprise refit parts in progress. I got my dry dock base stand done and lit. Got my warp nacelles painted the proper purple color. I need to start working on this model, is basically what it is. The saucer parts are down here. So the reason I'm showing this view, however, though, for my captain's log today is because my 17-inch monitor over here died. I just got no power. I've tried everything. It's dead. It's an LG 17-inch monitor. I don't have a new monitor. I'll probably get one in the next few days, hopefully, if I can find one. It shouldn't be too hard. I mean, just go on like Kijiji or something, or just the classified ads and look for a monitor. So I just need a 17-inch monitor. So that's why I'm not in front of the monitors today, guys. Sorry about that. I mean, I could have panned up a little bit here to my iPad, but I think this view is fine. You get to see other aspects of my work area and see kind of, new things. If I just pan up here, this is my other corner that you guys never really see. Some models up there. One of them is a kit bash by me. The USS Holmes, NCC 1701, or not, NCC 211B. Also a huge Sherlock Holmes fan, you guys know that. It's a scientific research vessel, what can I say? Okay, so what else do we got in here? Oh, a few more show ideas we have in the development process. We want to pump out a few pilots for us just so you guys can see what we have lined up for you should the Patreon do well. We want to do an Eagle Moss review. Samuel has all the Eagle Moss Star Trek ships to date. So what we're going to do is do a show about a review show on them. It might be a little late, but I mean they're always coming out with new ones, so we'll eventually be caught up. But what we'll do is we'll do a 360 view of the ship, highlight certain points and aspects on it, and we're going to talk about those, discuss the model, discuss how well it looks compared to the actual ship, as a model, how it looks, and what kind of details could have been added or taken away, things like that. So that's an Eagle Moss show. Let us know in the comments below if you guys are interested in seeing that. I know a lot of people are because they collect the Eagle Moss ships. So that's one thing. Next thing, I just talked to Samuel like literally 10 minutes ago, right before I started this video. So maybe 12 minutes ago, 13 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago, let's say, because we're already like 10 minutes and like 40 seconds into this thing. But I just sent him on a mission. What he's doing is he's going to do a gameplay video for Star Trek Armada 3, which is basically a mod for Sins of the Solar Empire. He's going to do a gameplay through of that as a new Trekyards show idea as well. So gameplay video. Now, this one will just include himself, but I mean, we're going to do other ones where it's me versus him. We're going to play Starfleet Armada 2, Starfleet Command, any Starfleet, any Star Trek games you can think of, Star Trek Legacy, things like that. We can fight each other. We can team up together to do campaign or just do custom match, either in tandem or against each other. So it's something that will be very interesting to see. So he's filming that as we speak. He actually just left me a question that I'm going to answer on my captain's log. It'll be the first question I answer, because if you guys aren't really interested in hearing everybody's questions, I mean, this is a good way to do it. But at the same time, I don't know if this is the formula I'm going to use every time. I just had a lot to talk about this time, and I wanted to make sure you guys heard it. So that's why I'm including it very early on, so that you guys can get it. You know, because if you don't stick to the end of the video, you miss all this good stuff. And I don't say this stuff in my supplementals, really, but I probably should. I don't know. It's a refinement. It's a process. It'll get better. And so, yes, Fleet Yards. Sorry. Has been recorded. It's in the can. Now, Samuel's been swamped with editing work and whatnot because of all these pilots and new projects that we have on the go. So that was going to be released Sunday initially, but now it's going to be next week sometime. So stay tuned for that. So even the week after our anniversary, not every day, mind you, but the week after, it's going to be dotted with pilots and a few extra goodies for you guys, because we love having you guys as our fans, and we want to give you guys the best stuff that we can and really say thank you to you guys. So what better way to do that than just create awesome content for you to enjoy for free? I mean, it's on YouTube, but in order to keep those shows doing the things that they do and entertaining you, we need your help with Patreon, or we need just the Patreon to get out there. So please help us with that. All right, I think that is it for my list. Now it's on to questions. So we'll start with Power 543, as we all know, Commander Cockings. So, Captain, if you had to compare your captaining style to another captain in Starfleet, and my prowess as your first officer to another first officer in Starfleet, who would you compare us to? I would like to think that I am a Kirk. I'm very rash, but at the same time strategic. I'm very emotionally based. I know that McCoy was the trifecta, and the whole trifecta was the emotional aspect. Spock was the logic, and Kirk was the nice mixture of the two, and more of the action guy. So I like to consider myself a Kirk. I'm more on the emotional side, I think, than the logical side. I'm definitely not a Picard. He's a little bit too refined for me. Too diplomatic, too. I can kind of be... I can get things done when I need to get things done. If somebody annoys me or pisses me off, I take care of that situation pretty quick. I don't take much shit from people. So I'm definitely not Picard. I'm not as much of a mother figure or a caring figure as Janeway was. I mean, Janeway was a pretty badass captain at times. So not really Janeway, though. I think... Well, there's Archer, too. I don't know. I think I'm a nice blend between Archer, Kirk, and Sisko. I'm not quite as badass as Sisko. I would love to be Sisko. Sisko's an amazing captain. Archer is also an amazing captain, as is Kirk. They all have their good aspects. I don't know. I honestly have to say Kirk, because I grew up with Kirk being my hero. So, Samuel, I am Captain Kirk. Now, for yourself, as a first officer, you're not Spock. You're way too emotional to be Spock. You're very determined and kind of put me in my place from time to time. So I'm gonna have to say you're probably a Riker. Yeah, I'm gonna have to say that out of all the first officers, you're probably a Riker. You're very action oriented. You want to get things done. You're always into doing things. You're a ladies' man. The women love you. But you do tend to, when I have a stupid harebrained idea, or I want to beam down on the away mission, and you're like, that's a fucking dumb idea, don't do that. You're right there saying, that's a fucking dumb idea, don't do that. And you squash my dreams a lot of the time. But it's good. It's a nice dynamic we have, because we definitely play off of each other, and we come up with great ideas. And you know, if you have an idea that I think is stupid, I'll just flat out say I don't think that's going to work. Most of your ideas are brilliant. So, I mean, you're the person I go to for advice and for guidance. So I would say you're my Riker. I'm Captain Kirk and you're Riker. I don't know if they get along, those two, necessarily. But I hope that answers your question. So that's the first question. Next question is from Empyrean Frost. He's talking, of course, last Captain's Log, he talked about the Bonaventure behind me on the shelf, which I didn't get right away, but I noticed it at the end of the video, and I edited it into the video that it's the Mini-Mates Enterprise that you see on the shelf here. I was referring to the chubby Connie behind the small Galaxy X Dreadnought and the D7 on your shelf. Apologies for saying the wrong name. That's all right. It looks like a Bonaventure for first glance if you don't know any better. Also, great work collecting so much Trek stuff. Can't wait to see the full Connie episode. Neither can we. We were just talking about that yesterday, actually, right before we recorded our anniversary special. How are we going to do this for the 50th anniversary of Star Trek? Because the Connie is an iconic ship. It needs to have a full documentary-style Trekyards treatment, but that theoretically would be like 3-4 hours long. So we've kind of come up with a few ideas on how we're going to approach it. We're not 100% sure yet, so stay tuned for those. Any way we do it is going to be amazing, because the Connie's my favorite ship, so I'm going to pour all my love into that. So don't worry about that. It's probably not going to be the first thing you see on the 50th year. I think we'll probably end up doing we're doing all the hero ships in the 50th. So the Defiant, the Refit, Connie, Voyager, maybe Deep Space Nine, the station, I don't know. But we'd be doing the NX-01, things like that. So what we're probably going to do is do the ships that don't have as much to talk about. Because honestly, the Defiant doesn't have a lot to talk about, really. Enterprise E doesn't have a whole lot to talk about because they weren't included in so many shows or movies. So we'll probably end up doing the Defiant first, and then move on to the Refit, and then the Connie mid-year. And then, I don't know. I don't know what the schedule's going to be yet, but I don't even know what the show format's going to be yet. It's definitely going to be like Legends style, where it's very in-depth. But we're not quite sure how we're doing that yet. So, yes, I'm looking forward to it as well. And then I commented and said, I did figure that out. Yes, LOL, I did see. Did you see that part of the video? He said, yep, actually, I've been feeling kind of down today. And guess what helped me get back up? You guessed it. Your 2 new videos today. Odin bless you guys. Agree on the Renegades Borg ship, by the way. By the way, would races that join the Federation count as alien ships? Yes. They would. He's referring to our top 10 alien ships. And he agreed with my the Borg Renegade ship that's not a cube. It's just kind of that weird shape. So, John DeFrancisco. Just so you know, you helped me with my depression. Thank you and Samuel for the site and turning me on to Renegades. Is Samuel manic? I think he's referring to your hyperness, your very fast speech. I don't know if he's manic per se. That's just Samuel. A lot of times we have to film later at night for him because it's afternoon for me here. So in order to pick himself up, he'll have energy drinks, Monster energy drinks. So a lot of times he's just sugared up, to be honest. I don't think he's manic at all. Michael Lohr, thanks, Captain. Love the Trekyards content this week. Good, we're glad. So, yeah, please sound off below what you liked, what you didn't like about this week, what you think about a podcast idea, what you think about the Eagle Moss ship idea, what you think about the gameplay video idea, all that in the comments below. All right, so the next message is from Emma7. Hi, Captain. I was amused by the timing of your recommendation for Deep Space Nine. I've now seen all of the original series and Next Generation, and about halfway through the second season of Deep Space Nine. I am enjoying it more than I thought, and I might, as I wasn't sure that the Star Trek formula would work without a ship, but the station feels like one of the characters now, and it's enjoyable to see what the Star Trek universe is like outside of Starfleet. I'm looking forward to the fourth season now, as if this gets any better. Major Kira is nearly my favorite character at the moment, though she gets pipped at the post by Chief O'Brien. His sense of humor is pragmatic, and his pragmatic outlook reminds me quite a lot of an instructor I once had a few years ago. More than any other character I've seen so far in Star Trek, he seems to be more like a member of the military hierarchy, and that adds to the enjoyment for the show for me. Keep up the excellent work with all of your projects, and I hope you continue to feel better. I assume it gets cut off. It cuts off messages on my iPad, which I have to look up on my computer, and my computer's doing an update right now, so I'm not going to be able to read the rest of the message. Sorry, Emma. But I'm glad you're enjoying Deep Space Nine. Keep at it. I mean, there are a few rough episodes to go through, but it can be said about every Star Trek series. Kira, really? I hate Kira. I don't like Kira. I don't know what it is about her. She just comes off as a mega bitch. I actually don't like any Bajorans. I think they're just entitled, and I'm just not a fan of the Bajoran people and in general, and Kira in particular. But I'm glad you like her. That's awesome. I mean, a lot of people do stand up for her when we kind of say, oh, Kira. So yes, definitely I'm glad you enjoy the Kira. But if I had to pick somebody from that show that I love the most, it'd be Cisco, followed very closely by Bashir, maybe O'Brien. Dax is up there, but not Kira. Sorry. I used to hate Bashir, by the way. When I first started watching the show, I only saw bits and pieces because I couldn't really get into it the first couple seasons. And from what I saw, Bashir, I thought he was a pompous asshole, which he is, rightfully so. But the more I watched it, and when I watched it with when my wife made me watch it, I really began to like Bashir. He's actually got a lot of my characteristics, so he became one of my favorite characters pretty quick. So, next is from Captain Roxas. Sorry about the multiple comments. My phone keeps saying error when I tried to post, so I kept trying every so often. Turns out my sneaky phone kept posting, lol. I think my phone might be Romulan. Better get that looked at. I don't want a Romulan spy phone in our midst here on Trekyards, giving all this information to the Romulans. SFB Addict. If people are screen shy, tell them they can do audio only. Pretty much every American fan Trek made time travel thing is going to be a Civil War flick. Civil War cosplayers are plentiful, and it makes for a cheap production. This is true. If you offend a JJ fan, just send them an email with a pic of a red ball gag as an apology. And then he sent a link to a picture. And here is said picture. So it's got the red ball matter, it's got a red ball gag, and it's got this red thing in Alias, and the picture says, J.J. Abrams and red balls. Red ball in Alias, red ball in Star Trek, red ball in the bedroom. This is the guy in charge of Star Wars? Question marks. Red balls that open massive black holes. That's funny. I want to keep this. Thank you very much. That actually reminds me of a photo I just made 2 days ago when we were having trouble filming our Fleet Yards episode. I was just messing around afterwards, and I made this picture of R2-D2 and JJ. I just thought it was funny. I'm sure that JJ will do a good job on Star Trek or Star Wars. Sorry, not Star Trek. Oh my God, he did an awful job on Star Trek. I'm sure he'll do a good job on Star Wars, as he is a Star Wars fan. I've said that all along. I think he's going to do Star Wars very proud, and it's going to be a very good movie. So, but I thought that was funny with R2D2, and thank you very much for that picture. Now, again, your other things. If people are shy, tell them that to do audio only. Well, this is the creator of the Vesta class that we talked to that is screen shy, that doesn't want to come on the show, but he wants to walk us through the making of the ship. People shouldn't be shy at all, basically. It's like sitting down in front of two people and just chatting because it's Skype. Hundreds and thousands of people watch Trekyards. And if I actually thought about that when I was filming these things, I would be scared shitless that thousands of people are going to be watching me. But it's just me and a camera, or me and Samuel. So it doesn't bother me, and I don't think it'll be a problem. Maybe he'll just do audio. We'll see. And talking about the Civil War aspect of the Divided We Stand episode for Star Trek continues. Yeah. It's true. Civil War reenactments are very... there are a lot of people out there that do them, and yeah, it would be very cheap to do. So makes total sense. So thank you. Captain Lakawa. Thank you for reading my comment, mon capitaine. By the way, is it me, or does the Enterprise F look like the USS Premonition from the early 25th century of Star Trek Armada, but without the top torpedo launcher? Does actually look a little bit like it, yeah. Now that you've said that. Interesting. Michael Gardner said, my dad would like you because you're old school Trek. Like the Bonaventure storage compartment, apparently. The storage compartment containing the quadrilateral, the wheat, the quadrilateral, the what, as he says. It is the levels of cannabis that make you paranoid. The THC levels in cannabis that make you paranoid. Well, there you go. Because like I said, I every time I've tried weed and I get paranoid. I get so paranoid. It's just frustrating. So James Albright is next. I just realized that you two guys have great chemistry for a podcast. Have you ever considered that idea? Ironically enough, we did. We thought that early on as well, but after we filmed this anniversary one, it just, at the end, it was just like, that would make an awesome podcast. That was just an amazing back and forth between us. So, yes, we are going to definitely leave so there we go. That's one, Samuel. We got one person so far that thinks we'd make an awesome podcast team. So there you go. Wayne Bolduck. I agree with you about supporting JJ, even though, like you, I am not the biggest fan. The only chance we get a new Trek show, that there is a fan base, so there's a fan base there that wants it. Thankfully, the fan projects have been pretty great so far. So pumped for Axanar. As am I. Axanar is going to be amazing. And most of the fan stuff's great. I mean, if you can get past some cheesy costumes, some out-of-shape actors in a lot of the productions as well. There's some interesting storylines there. I mean, you got to use your imagination to make it a good episode sometimes, but it's all Star Trek. It's all good. The Exeldrak. What are your thoughts on The Undiscovered Country? It is my favorite Star Trek movie, while most other people seem to prefer The Wrath of Khan, at least from the Star Trek movies. The Undiscovered Country is a great movie. It is one of my favorite Star Trek movies. I've actually done Star Trek movie reviews for all the Star Trek movies. I'm just going to make a quick note here to put that in the description below, because I've got a link. I'll have a link to my video on Star Trek 6. So you can see that right after you watch this. So, yes, I've done movie reviews for all the movies. 2 of them I did with Sylvia. Those are the JJ ones. They're all in a playlist together, so if you guys want to check those out, please do. I've recently posted a few on the Trekyards page just to kind of rehash interest in those old videos. So yeah, I'll have a link in the description below, and also to the Patreon, so you guys can help us out should you feel the need or the desire to do so. DJ Peterson, hi Captain, love your Trekyards. Thank you. Mr. Martecci, this is another long one, so I can't read it all because my computer is still updating. But I'll read what I can. I'm very glad to hear that you're doing better, at least. Keep them shorter, guys. Just point form, bullet form them. Because, yeah, like I said, I can't read long messages on my iPad comments for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, I'm very glad to hear that you're doing better, at least. And I hope that by the time you're going to the next Captain's Log, everything will be even better. Today's really good. Today I'm feeling pretty damn good. As you can probably tell, I'm more energetic, more upbeat. But 2 days ago I had a really bad day. Yesterday was not the best. It comes and goes. So thank you for your concern. This week I finally contributed to the Patreon campaign, or as I call it, the Federal Starfleet Dreadnought Restoration Fund, that will finally not only produce more episodes, but also build a TOS-style Dreadnought as a museum ship for all the fellow captains to visit and party on. Yes! Yes! If we could raise, like, throwing a number out there, $5 million, I'll start construction of an actual Dreadnought in orbit so that we could all hang out there and film our Star Trek or Trekyards episodes up on the Dreadnought. That's an excellent idea. I should add that to the perk or the goal levels, I think. That's an awesome idea. I'm really excited about your new pilots coming out, especially the top 10 is really awesome for me to get suggestions on what ships I'd probably like to know more about. There are just so many in the Star Trek universe that I'd never managed to see them all on my own. This is true. I've said this to Samuel. I've said this in other Captain's Logs. We're going to be doing this for 150 years at least because of all the ships that we have available to research and to do episodes on. Even technology. This show's never going to end. I'm going to be like 90 years old.
Hey, Sonny. Welcome to Trekyards. I'm Captain Foley. I almost said Captain Kirk because I'm senile. Oh, my God.
I love how close you guys are to the community, and it's nice to see how polite and nice the audience always is, in most cases. Trying to resolve any conflicts in the comments as good as possible and respecting each other's opinions. Especially on the internet, it is always hard to keep it that way. And it cuts off. So I'm sure he just goes on to talk about moderating the Trekyards page, which we try to do fairly and regularly. We try to keep the content concise and succinct to what it's supposed to be, which is about ships or tech. So, yeah, we get the few bad apples in the bunch, but we get to that as soon as we can. Because a lot of times I might be sleeping when something's going on and I don't realize it for a few hours, and all of a sudden I wake up to like messages from people, you got to take care of this, you got to take care of this, you got to take care of this. Do the best we can when we can. All right, there's 4 more, guys. Toasty9399, Toasty Top. It needs better audio. I don't know what you're talking about. Do the Captain's Log needs better audio? Does the top 10 need better audio? Does the fact file need better audio? The first fact file was a little off, the Hyperspray one, because I was using the wrong mic on my computer. So that sounds a little bit, but I don't know what you're talking about, so please clarify. Ebenezer 1690. Keep up the good work, Captain. Thank you, will do. SWGS. According to the new Star Trek canon, yes, that thing exists and refer to the JJ or the Abrams verse only. Comic books such as Countdown and series of ongoing are canon. Yes, the ongoing comic book series for JJ's Trek is canon, considered canon, unfortunately. So was Countdown. However, some of the comics aren't that bad. I mean, I don't collect them all. I've got a few. I got the one that had the Q crossover. It's like 4 or 5 episodes or issues that had Q involved. Those were good. And even the ship, when they do it in the comic book, it looks better. I don't know why, but a lot of the views of it are better. I don't know if they've proportioned things a little bit differently, but a lot of the views of the actual JJ Prize in those comics are pretty nice to look at, to be perfectly honest with you. So now the last comment is Megabyte Unleashed. JJ Trek does have some great classic Star Trek style moments in it. Yes, it does. Into Darkness, for example, domestic terrorism and the tale of absolute power corrupting absolutely. Khan was fighting for his own family. He was fighting against a corrupt man of power, and when he got the chance to get power, he took out the man who controlled him, then lost himself in the same power, and went crazy when he believed his family was killed. Sure, Spock's Khan scream should have not been there, and there are elements that are stupid, but there are good story character things in those films. You just have to be willing to look beyond the flashy bang bang to see it, which unfortunately most people can't. No, I agree 100%. There's some great moments in there, especially with like McCoy and Kirk in the first one. Even McCoy and Spock, not so much as it should be, I think, but there are some great character developments, and the cast does a great job of playing the characters that they're supposed to play, given the material they had to work with, unfortunately. So, yes. That is it for the questions, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Hope you got your questions answered. Hope you learned something. Hope you had fun. Hope you like seeing a new view of my area. Ta-da! Things. R2D2. So anyways, that is it for me, guys. Captain Foley is going to be signing off now. So yes, please comment below on everything I've talked about at the beginning of this video and during this video. And I will see you all out there in the future. Bye.